Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, nations. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. The Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Most High. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha. It's Yahweh Shai. So got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Brekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of GMS who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the host elect. Shalom to the Akbar who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp coming at you another lesson. I'm Isaiah Prophet Doom from GMS Orlando Camp coming at you another lesson. Truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord will be edifying. And this will be Babylon the Great won't survive for long. Lord willing, this will be edifying. So let's see here. So I got this clip on the play. It's 19 minutes, maybe a couple of infomercials in it. But Lord willing is be edifying. And this is from this guy, Economic Circuit. So let's check this out. Turn this volume down.
Empires don't collapse in an instant. They rot from within. Slowly.
I love how he show you this. He show you right here, Rome, Greece. This all. If you look up, if you go to Google and type in Greek architecture or Roman architecture, this is what you're going to see. So it's beautiful how he shows this old Roman Empire, which just like the old Greek Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire, just put together because of the columns, how Esau built. So let's run this back.
Empires don't collapse in an instant. They rot from within. Slowly at first, decay hidden beneath the surface, until one day the foundation gives way.
Slack, see, every time I go out of this and come back, I'm gonna have to let it ride because the screen get black. Let me run this back. I don't know why it's doing this. Damn new computer. Run it back. Because I'm gonna be pausing it because he said it's slowly rotting away. And I was going to get that Isaiah 14 as it reads, Isaiah 14:11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, in the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So this is what we watching happen to Babylon the Great, man.
Empires don't collapse in an instant. They rot from within. Slowly at first, decay hidden beneath the surface, until one day the foundation gives way. The United States has spent decades building an economic system that, for better or worse, became the backbone of global trade, finance, and stability. The dollar became the world's currency. American markets set the tempo for the rest of the world. Its economic alliances, its debts, even its reckless spending, none of it seemed to matter, because the system worked. Until now. What happens when that system breaks? When the country that built globalism...
See, it's all spiritual. I got to read this, Isaiah. What happened when the system breaks? This is Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. America's system is broken, man. And he's saying it all. I'm just going to read the precepts, man. It's all spiritual.
Decides to tear it apart. Donald Trump is not the first president to challenge the world order, but he may be the last to oversee its unmaking. His policies, tariffs, trade wars, fiscal recklessness aren't just momentary disruptions. They are the accelerants to a fire that has been smoldering for years. And in a worst-case scenario, this fire doesn't just burn down the American economy, it takes the entire global system with it. But here's the thing about collapse. It's not always obvious when it begins. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as a broken alliance, a tariff, a bond sell-off, a quiet moment in history that, in hindsight, will look like the turning point. And we may already be there.
There's a couple of them in here.
Welcome to Economic Circuit, where we break down the forces driving our global economy. From the history of major companies to today's shifting trends, we're here to make complex topics clear and relevant. Chapter 1. The End of Globalization. Globalization was never just about trade, it was about power. For decades, the United States sat at the center of a vast economic web, dictating the rules of global commerce. Trade agreements ensured American access to foreign markets. The dollar became the foundation of international finance. The world's largest economies depended on stable relations with Washington to keep the system running. That system is now coming apart. Donald Trump's return to power has accelerated a shift that was already underway: the unraveling of American-led globalization. His administration isn't just reviving past trade wars, it's escalating them. One of Trump's first major moves was reinstating and expanding tariffs, targeting China, the European Union, and even traditional allies like Japan and South Korea. The logic? Protect American industry. The reality? A global economic realignment that pushes the U.S. further into isolation. China has doubled down on alternative trade routes. Instead of negotiating with Washington, Beijing is strengthening its Belt and Road Initiative, solidifying economic ties with Africa, Latin America, and Europe without U.S. involvement.
Without U.S. involvement. And they tell you in 2nd Ezra, this is 2nd Ezra 15, in verse 46, and thou Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and not the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. So China backed off of America and became better. And now they don't need Babylon no more. Just like it tell you in Jeremiah 50, the mother that bare America gonna be so confounded. But this is show you, man, and China has advanced way far, but they advanced way farther than Babylon. But China is the forerunner for how America is going to be, and at least controlling all this, man. China is the forerunner for how America is going to be. They got over 3-4 million cameras, 7 to 8 cameras to watch every person. Everything face recognition. What's this called? The credit score system. That's gonna be in America. Babylon the Great. China just the forerunner, man. The infrastructure that's in China is going to be in America, and at least control all this.
The EU is shifting away from American leadership. European policymakers, wary of Trump's unpredictability.
I forget what it was. I'm watching a Apostle Hart video he doing on Elder Karatazar from Vegas, and Elder Karatazar mentioned the original 10 horns. He said, all you gotta do is put up the flag, the EU flag, and here it is right here with the original 10 stars on it. The 10 star, which is the original 10 horns. So that's spiritual. I didn't even see this when I first watched the video yesterday. But anyway, EU is pulling away from Babylon, man. As the scriptures say, it's all prophecy. So while Jake out here playing games and warning about everything else, prophecy is taking place, and they ain't watching, man.
Are finalizing trade agreements with Asia and Latin America to secure supply chains that bypass U.S. influence. BRICS nations are accelerating de-dollarization, Russia, India, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia are moving toward regional currencies, making the dollar less necessary for global transactions. In short, global markets are adapting, and America is losing leverage. Trump's policies operate on the assumption that America's market is irreplaceable, that foreign nations will always return to the negotiating table, that they need the US more than the US needs them. But what if that's no longer true? American exporters are already feeling the impact. Retaliatory tariffs from China and the EU have slashed demand for US goods. Supply chains are shifting permanently. After years of trade tensions, companies are restructuring operations to avoid reliance on American suppliers. The dollar's dominance is eroding. Central banks in major economies are stockpiling reserves in alternative currencies to avoid dependence on US monetary policy. Trump's first term showed the world that America's commitment to globalization could be reversed overnight. His second term is proving that the reversal is permanent. For decades, American economic supremacy was built on one assumption: that no major economy could function without the US at the table. That assumption.
Hey, and this man, he didn't get a chance to do what he wanted to do in the first term, so he's trying to do it now, which is controlled by the elites. And it's all a game, man. This is all problem, reaction, solution, man. They make the people think that they fighting for the people. You got the Republicans and the Democrats, right, which is the plebeians and the patricians, and it's all a game to play on the minds of the people. And this is why, hey, it's important to understand Revelation 13 when the Lord said that they was going to say, when they say the fatal wound was healed, and they wondered after the beast, saying, who was able to make war with the beast? This is what America has done over time to the people. Got people thinking that there is no better place to live. There is no better place than America. And it ain't, man.
Assumption is now collapsing. With every new tariff, every broken trade deal, every diplomatic rift, the US is making itself.
See this? Canadian officials speak after lunatic meeting. And it tell you in Habakkuk 2, let me read this. Because this is what's happening, man. Everybody's taking up a taunting proverb against America, man. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? That's Babylon the Great. That's America. How long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. And they talking about 35 trillion. Man, the debt is over 200 trillion, man. But this is all the nations taking up a taunting proverb. EU and Great Britain, man, is North Korea. Kim Jong-un, every other 3-4 months, he ready to shoot missiles in America, man. And he telling them, I would shoot missiles over there. That's a taunting proverb, man. When Putin said, if you want to trade your Western liberal ways for Russian more values, come to Russia, man. That's a taunting proverb to America.
Less central to global commerce. The question is no longer whether globalization is ending, but whether America will still have a seat in whatever comes next.
Hey, and just like America, you got EU and NATO and America, right, which is the beast system. Now it's Russia. So you got when they tell you in Revelation 16, 13, the 3 unclean spirits, right? One came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, right? So that's London for the monetary, the District of Columbia for the military, and the Vatican for the religion. Well, the new superpower is Russia. Russia is the military, and China is the monetary. They don't need no religion. They need the money and military, man. And that's Russia and China, man. And they don't form the BRICS nation. America is through, man. And like it said in Isaiah 47, come down and send the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. She's going to sit by herself, man. Obadiah 1:7 tell you that all the allies is separated. Matter of fact, let me read that. We are watching the Lord's prophecies unfold in real time, man. And Jake is out here really playing games. Nigga, still trying to prosper. in a kingdom that's collapsing. Like the head brother Nahoy always say, niggas trying to get a seat on the Titanic when this bitch is sinking, man. This is Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. And anytime you get hey, what's going on right now? This whole mix-up is drawing Iran Houthis to the border to fight Israel. It's drawing Russia to the border to Ukraine to fight. And who's in the midst of all this? The Edomites. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, which is a future prophecy to prevail against something, meaning it already done happened. We just watching it play out. It already done played out in the heavens, man. That they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. The Edomites don't know what's going on. Just like we watch Scott Riddle. What's this guy, Michael Maloof, that used to be on RT News. He's always say, hey man, America gonna get, we can't do nothing against Russia, man. We can't do nothing against Iran. But they can tell you what's going on and what's happening, but they can't tell you why these things are happening. It's the why they happening. And the why is, first off, you touch your Yahushua. That's one. Secondly, you put your hand on the Israelites. And that's Esau. What he said in Genesis 27, the days of my father at hand, this would I slay my brother Jacob. Michael Maloof and Scott Riddle and Peter Schiff and Gerald Salente and Jeremy Babe and Richard Wolf and Chris Hedges and what's this guy from Glenn Beck and Clayton from Redacted. All these Edomites, all these podcasters, they can tell you what's happening and what's going on, but they don't know why it's happening. The only ones know why it's happening is the whole elect, man. We understand why these things is happening. The why is you put your hands on your Yahushua and the Israelites, and our kingdom can't come until the so-called white man's last Edomville go down.
And as the world moves forward, Washington may find itself watching from the sidelines. If you don't want to be on the sidelines too...
See, that's what it just said. They're going to bring them to the border. Even if they Babylon will be on the sideline, man.
Subscribe to Economic Circuit. We break down the forces reshaping the global economy, beyond the headlines, beyond the noise. And if you want deeper analysis, early access, and exclusive content, join us on Patreon.
Yeah, because said you want deeper analysis. He made that sound so deep. That word sound like it's so long. Hey, Apostle Hoffman, hey, we analyzing everything, man. We got to. That's what watchmen do.
Understanding the collapse isn't just about knowing what's happening. It's about preparing for what comes next.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do.
Hey, did you hear what he just said?
Chapter 2.
Did you hear what he just said? It's about preparing for what's coming next. Hold on, I got to get this. Salakia. It's about preparing for what's coming next, man. Ezekiel. As a matter of fact, nope, I can't read that first. Got to go here to 1 Corinthians first. 1 Corinthians 14:6. It reads, now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you, except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge or by prophesying or by doctrine. That's it. Anything outside of this, your ass just ranting, man. And even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sound. How shall it be known what is piped or harp? And the distinction is Jacob's trouble coming. There's different sounds from GMS and everybody else that's not teaching the sound doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shai is feel-good message. And that's that 501c3 doctrine. Let's build here. Israelite communities. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't no Emma, ain't no mark of the beast. Ain't no sea hill. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? And you don't hear none of these other groups prepare their people to the battle. It's all feel good. It's all we good. We're going to be okay. We ain't going to be okay, man. The Lord finna shake America, Babylon the Great up, man, with terror. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So likewise ye, except ye utter by the tongue except ye utter by the tongue words easy to be understood, how shall it be known what is spoken? For ye shall speak into the air. Got to get this one. We make it known to you what it is. The distinction is prophecy, man. And we watching it happen. But as we see all the time, people watch world news. They watching alternative news. They watching world news, but they still saying, "Oh man, that's crazy that happened." I'm glad it wasn't me. Well, one day, like I said in Amos 5:18, calamity gonna knock on your door, and when you answer it, who's gonna be on the other side? Is it gonna be mercy, or it's gonna be wrath? Because like it said in Psalm 65:5, the Lord said, "By terrible things and righteousness will He answer us." That's the hopeful elect. Well, by terrible things and wickedness, He gonna answer 2/3. So you got to open up the door. And the Lord said in Revelation, when He opened the door, no man can shut it. So the Lord put the Spirit on you, open that door when calamity knock. That's your ass. Because you can't close it. Hey, and if the Lord's showing you mercy in that day, hey, the Spirit going to say, no, don't open that door. And they ain't going to be able to get in. Anyway, this is Ezekiel. I had to read that because it's a distinction in the sound that's being made now, man. Ezekiel 7:14. They have blown the trumpet. Who? Starting with the apostles, elder, bishops, and elders, younger brothers. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The only ones that's preparing themselves for the battle is the hopeful elect. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword. And what Jake focus on? Getting that bag. He that is in the field shall die with the sword. And he that is in the city, what Jake on? In the city, party playing and bullshitting. And he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him, man. Because they not watching the signs of the times. In Salakia.
The tariff trap. A nation at war with itself. Trade wars don't start with explosions. They start with paperwork. Tariffs, retaliations, economic walls rising.
See? And I would look at the definition. Economic warfare, man. Economic warfare. This is how America get down, man. Let me run it back. Economic warfare.
Comes next. Chapter 2. The tariff trap. A nation at war with itself. Trade wars don't start with explosions. They start with paperwork. Tariffs, retaliations, economic walls rising between nations. And right now, the United States is building those walls higher than ever. Donald Trump's return to power has reignited his trade war strategy. But this time, he's going further. Instead of selective tariffs aimed at China, he's pushing for across-the-board import taxes. A 10% universal tariff on everything entering the U.S., with even higher penalties on goods from key rivals. The goal? To force American companies to bring jobs back home. The reality? A self-inflicted economic war that punishes the very industries it claims to protect. On paper, tariffs are supposed to make foreign goods more expensive, giving U.S. companies an edge. But in practice, modern economies don't work that way. Everything is interconnected. Manufacturers rely on global supply chains. The raw materials, components, and electronics that power American factories don't come from thin air. They're imported. Now, those costs are skyrocketing. Consumers bear the brunt. A 10% import tax doesn't just hurt businesses. It drives up prices on everything, from cars to groceries to medicine. Inflation that was once cooling is now surging again. Farmers are facing the consequences. After years of trade tensions, key buyers like China have shifted their agricultural imports elsewhere.
Hey, and that's good. The farmers catching hell. Because all the land they got, they stole it from Gad, Reuben, and Issachar. Good. Then this nigga said they don't need no more human resources to produce the crops, to harvest the crops, to plant and to pull up. Because they're using AI for the crops. It's all stolen land anyway, so good, man. Good.
U.S. soybean exports never fully recovered from Trump's first trade war. A second one? It could be the breaking point. This isn't a theory. It's happening right now. Auto manufacturers are warning that rising steel and aluminum costs will force them to cut jobs. Retailers are preparing.
Hey, what it said in Ecclesiastes 12, when the sound of grinding is low, man, they shall rise up at the voice of a bird, man. We watching this happen. The Lord said it. Romans 15:4, the scriptures are written aforetime ago for our learning.
For price hikes that could hit consumers by the next holiday season. And foreign trade partners, they aren't waiting to see what happens. Trade wars don't happen in a vacuum. Other countries fight back. China has reimposed tariffs on U.S. agricultural products, further cutting off American farmers from their biggest market. The European Union is targeting U.S. industries that depend on exports, including aviation and tech. Japan and South Korea are forging stronger trade agreements with the EU and China, creating economic ties that reduce their reliance on the U.S. And here's the dangerous part. This isn't just tit-for-tat retaliation. It's a long-term shift away from American trade dominance. The last time Trump launched a tariff war, he eventually bailed out American farmers with billions in government aid. But now, the situation is different. The U.S. national debt is higher than ever. Interest rates are climbing, and Washington is running out of fiscal room to cushion the damage. This time, there may be no bailout big enough to undo the damage. Corporate layoffs are already being announced as industries face higher costs. U.S. exports are shrinking as trading partners shift to other suppliers. Inflation is being reignited as import prices surge across essential goods. Trump
to make that point real quick, because I gotta mention it. So you got the one in Joel. There's one in Joel that talks about, you got Isaiah 3:1, the Lord say he's gonna take away the stay and the staff, right? That's your comfort and your protection. That's what a stay and the staff do. Comfort and protection. Then he say he's gonna take away the stay of bread and the whole stay of water. So I want to get this, because everything that he said in this video, it's all in the scriptures, man. This is Joel 1, dealing with this farming situation. It reads, this is Joel 1 in verse, hold on here, 15. It reads, alas, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes? Yeah, joy and gladness from the house of our power. The seed is rotten under their clods. The garners are laid desolate. The barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. All this got to do with farming and cropping, planting and growing, harvesting. That's what this scripture is talking about. How do the beasts grow? What Elon Musk said, the cows farting too much, they destroying the black Angus beef, all this, right? How do the beasts grow? The herds of cattle are perplexed because they have no pasture. Yeah, the flocks of the sheep are made desolate. See, the Lord doing this, man. This is said, O Yahweh, to thee will I cry, for the fire have devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame have burnt all the trees of the field. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of waters are dried up, and the fire have devoured the pastures of the wilderness. And Esau is destroying everything, man, because it tell you in Isaiah 24, he's the curse that devoured the whole earth, man. Let me go back and get this. This is one in Habakkuk 3. It's Habakkuk 3 in verse 17. It reads, although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields shall yield no meat. The flocks shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. This is what we watch happening. We are watching this happen. And the Lord let him do it because he said he's going to take away your whole stale bread and your whole stale water. Here's another precept. Hosea. The Lord is creating, like I said in what is that? Luke 19. When Yahweh said in Luke 21, when you shall see Jerusalem come past the armies, then flee ye to the mountains. In Luke 19, when you read that, what is that, verse 47, 43? They put a trench around Jerusalem, man. And this is a slow, this is going to affect you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. And anybody else that's a heathen, they just collateral damage and casualties of war, man. This is Hosea 4:1. Hear the word of Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For Yahweh have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Why? Because there is no truth. Remember Revelation 11:8? They X'd out Yahushua. It said also while our Lord is crucified. There is no truth about Yahweh Shema Shah. Well, it wasn't. It is now, but it's not. It's supposed to be in every school, every college, everywhere. But it's not. It don't supposed to be done neither, because it's only for the remnant on this side. Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and commit adultery, they break out in blood touching blood. Therefore shall the land mourn. This is what we're watching Babylon the Great mourn. And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. And we see, the people languishing with America. Everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field, the cattle, and with the fowls of heaven, right? The different birds, millions of species of birds. And Esau is getting rid of all of them, man. The fishes of the sea shall also be taken away. So the Lord is doing this. We watching, 2nd Ezra 14. We watching this happen, man. And people have no clue on what's going on. 2nd Ezra 14 in verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. See, for the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasten the vision to come, which thou hast seen. And I was thinking about this. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 7. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
Economic nationalism frames tariffs as a weapon to bring back American jobs. But in a world of deeply interconnected economies, protectionism doesn't just punish foreign competitors, it cripples domestic industries too. And here's the worst part: the world has options. If American goods become too expensive, buyers will go elsewhere.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home.
Hey, that's
If
cold.
American companies can't
Yahweh showed John the aerial view of America burning from space. How about that? That's spiritual.
compete globally, they will shrink or move overseas. And once those shifts happen, they don't reverse overnight. They become permanent. History has already taught us this lesson.
Yep.
The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930 was designed to protect American industries. Instead, it triggered a global trade collapse and deepened the Great Depression.
That was the crash of 29. He just mentioned 1930. And 29 was the crash. This is when America really started to fall, man. That crashed in 29. This when it was downhill from here. Because the Lord already had in the mix Elder Abba Bivens, man. And if you can receive it, Elijah, which was fourth to come, had him already in the mix, man. He was already on earth, man, when this happened. In 29. And then came the elder, and then came John the Baptist, Elijah all over again. Right in the midst of the Lord collapsing Babylon the Great, man.
We're watching history repeat itself, and this time, the world may not be waiting for America to recover. Chapter 3, The Debt Spiral, America's Point of No Return. For years, America's debt was treated like an abstract problem, something economists debated, something politicians ignored. Now, it's a ticking time bomb. Under Donald Trump's second administration, that bomb is counting down faster than ever. Tax cuts will be expanded, benefiting the ultra-rich. Tariffs are reducing government revenue instead of increasing it. And all of this is happening while the U.S. is already drowning in debt. When Trump left office in 2021, the national debt had jumped by $7.8 trillion, the largest increase in history. Today, the U.S. debt has passed 120% of GDP, a point where most economies enter a danger zone. That means America now owes more than it produces in an entire year.
Mm.
The government is paying over $1 billion per day in interest alone. And with interest rates high, that cost is only growing. The more the U.S. borrows, the more it must pay to keep borrowing.
And the Edomite the plantation say, if 85% of wood come from Canada, where the other 15% coming from? Because he said if America producing 15%, we can't live off 15%. Nothing is made here, man. Everything in Walmart you buy, none of that shit say made in America, man. Babylon is through. The Lord is slowly deteriorating, slowly. This is a slow, painful death. And I always make the point how the Lord did Antiochus Epiphanes, man. That slow, painful death from the inside out. That's what the Lord doing to America, man. It's a slow, painful death, man. Nothing is made here. And if these people decide to cut off, which they ain't, but if they did, America would, it would be sedition overnight, man.
It's a cycle that feeds itself. Trump has made it clear he wants more tax cuts. But with debt already at historic highs, slashing revenue will only widen the deficit. He wants massive infrastructure projects. Where will the funding come from? More borrowing.
This is Ecclesiastes 7:13. It reads, consider the work of power, Yahweh Shema Shah, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked?
Considering tariffs as a revenue source, but tariffs shrink the economy, meaning the government ultimately collects less. The problem isn't just the numbers, it's the lack of a plan. Trump isn't cutting spending. He isn't reducing deficits. He's doubling down on the same policies that sent debt skyrocketing in his first term. Only now, the U.S. has far less room to maneuver. For decades, the U.S. has run massive deficits without immediate consequences because the world was willing to keep lending. But that trust is eroding. China has been quietly reducing its U.S. Treasury holdings. Japan, once the largest foreign holder of U.S. debt, is looking for alternatives. Saudi Arabia and other oil-rich nations are investing more in gold and foreign currencies. The message is clear. America's creditors are losing confidence. If global investors start demanding higher interest rates to compensate for the risk, borrowing costs will explode. The government will have no choice but to cut spending, raise taxes, or print more money to cover the gap. And if the U.S. starts printing money to finance its debt, that's when the real crisis begins.
And it's all the elites doing this, man. They're making it seem like, hey, this is all a game, man. And it's all the lead. It's all the lead to everybody taking the sea here. Because Argentina, some months ago, I did a video. They completely CBDC. So the infrastructure, man. All this is about the infrastructure of the MOTB being established, man. Just like China. That's all this is, man. It's leading people. It's playing on people's thoughts and feelings and emotions. And what should we do? And it's all problem, reaction, solution. It's the elites playing the game. But the Lord playing the game. Because 2/3, this is all to destroy 2/3 and the heathens, man.
Trump has already floated the idea, you never have to default because you print the money. That statement should terrify anyone who understands economics. Printing.
Well, they should have said that about Maya Angelou Bauer, because he was the one that said, I care not, give me control of the money. I care not who make the laws. Nobody said nothing about that.
Money to cover debt doesn't solve the problem. It destroys confidence in the currency. And once that confidence is gone, there's no getting it back. The result? The dollar weakens. Imported goods become unaffordable. Inflation spirals out of control. We've seen this before, not in America, but in countries like Argentina, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Nations that spent beyond their means, printed money to survive, and collapsed under hyperinflation. America was never supposed to be one of those countries. But debt doesn't disappear just because people stop paying attention to it. Every empire in history has faced this moment. The choice.
That's what I want to read. Every empire in history have faced this moment. This is Job 24 and 23. It reads, though it be given him to be in safety. Who? The Edomites, whereon he resteth, chiefly Amalek, the small hats. Yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. And their little while is coming to a head. Their little while is coming to a head. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. This is prophecy. The buzzword being brought low is in Genesis 3 and 14. The Lord said, on thy belly shall I go, which means that's the lowest you can get on your belly. And thus shall I eat all the days of thy life. If you're on your belly, all you see is dust, dirt. So that's the confusion. And everywhere the so-called white man has went, every place he has conquered, he brought confusion, man. And these devils, they show you in the movie Rambo, because Esau go in with the military, with his mercenaries, clean kill, take shit out, and then he's sending the fucking mercenary to say, Jesus still love you. We love you. We had to go in and do what we had to do and take this shit, but we still love you too. Jesus love everybody. The nigga sitting in the military, the mercenary, then sending the missionary. That's confusion, man. Hey, but the Lord told him in the beginning, you're gonna be the lowest of the low. Again, Job 24 and 24. They are exalted for a little while. America coming to a 250 mark. Hey, the Greek Empire is when they established the sword. The Roman Empire is when they magnified the sword. And the American Empire when they perfected their wickedness with the sword, man. This nigga go in and send economic hitmen in where you can't pay us back when we finna take all these resources. Confusion, man. But the Lord said it in the beginning. Everywhere he go, he's going to bring confusion, and he's going to be the basis of men. Though they are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low, they are taken out of the way as all other. What did he just say? What did he just say?
Every empire in history has faced this moment.
This is the moment. Job 24 and 24. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off at the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who shall make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? And I love to read this because it say they're going to be cut off at the tops of the ears of corn. And if you grew up in the 70s and the 80s, in the 60s, there's a slop bucket in your house. Everything went in the slop bucket. Chicken bones, banana peels, ears of corn, apple hulls if you eat the apple, orange peelings, old food through the week. It all went in that slop bucket. And that slop, fish bones, and it all went to the hogs, man. That's what the Lord said about the Edomites. And on top of that, in Job 11:20, the Lord said the wicked don't got no hope. The best hope that they got is to give up the ghost. And they ain't going to even be able to do that.
The choice between fiscal discipline or economic catastrophe. Rome debased its currency to finance endless wars.
See, Rome debased its currency to finance what? One more time. Endless wars. That's what America doing right now.
Every empire in history has faced this moment. The choice between fiscal discipline or economic catastrophe. Rome debased its currency to finance endless wars. The British Empire accumulated unsustainable debt before its global influence collapsed.
Why would he mention the British Empire? Huh? Don't worry, we'll wait. Why would he mention Rome and then British? Because it's right here. It's right here. Hold on. This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. The 5 are fallen, and 1 is. The 1 is at this time was Rome, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. That was Great Britain. And the beast that was, and it's not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th. and go off into perdition. That was America came out of Great Britain, man. So why would he mention Rome and then Britain? Hold on. One more time. Can't make this shit up, man.
Stop paying attention to it. Every empire in history has faced this moment. The choice between fiscal discipline or economic catastrophe. Rome debased its currency to finance endless wars. The British Empire accumulated unsustainable debt before its global influence collapsed. The Soviet Union spent itself into ruin, trying to outpace the US military. And now, America is following the same trajectory. If Washington doesn't change course, if Trump continues spending without limits, borrowing without restraint, then the US is...
He said the Soviet Union spent their money up trying to defend. Let's run it back. I want to hear this again. Salakia.
Influence collapsed. The Soviet Union spent itself into ruin, trying to outpace the US military.
Right there. See that? And NATO was created to destroy the Soviet Union. Look what the Lord did, man. The Lord let these Edomites create NATO to destroy the Soviet Union, and now the Lord done put hooks into the jaws of the Soviet Union and brought them back. Oh, man, this is cold. You can't make this up, man.
And now, America is following the same trajectory. If Washington doesn't change course, if Trump continues spending without limits, borrowing without restraint, then the US is heading for the same fate. Because debt crises don't happen gradually. They happen suddenly. One day, everything seems fine. The next, investors panic. Interest rates spike. The government scrambles to reassure markets. And then, before anyone fully realizes what's happening, the entire system starts to break. The US isn't immune to economic collapse. No empire ever is. The only question left is, how much time is left before the reckoning? Chapter 4. The Death of the Dollar. The Collapse no one thought possible. For nearly a century, the US dollar has been the backbone of the global economy. Every major nation holds it in reserves. Oil, commodities, and global trade are settled in it. The dollar isn't just America's currency, it's the world's. But under Trump's second administration, that dominance is slipping faster than ever. Even before Trump's return, the world had been slowly diversifying away from the dollar. But his policies, escalating trade wars, aggressive tariffs, economic nationalism, are accelerating the process. China and Russia have already cut their reliance on the dollar. Trade between the two nations is now settled in yuan and rubles. BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, are actively working on an alternative reserve currency. Saudi Arabia, once a cornerstone of the petrodollar system, is now accepting oil payments in yuan.
So they said, "We don't. Hey, that's it. Hold on. We don't need you no more. You still want to get some of this oil, okay? But it just ain't excluded to America. No, we letting everybody get some of this now." This is Isaiah 13 in verse, where is it? 20. Talking about Babylon, right? Let's read 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. That's what it's talking about. When they didn't renew their agreement with America, it say, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall their shepherd make their fold there. They're like, man, we don't need y'all, man.
These shifts aren't happening in secret. They are public, deliberate, and growing. The strength of the US dollar is based on one thing: trust. The world trusts that America will pay its debt.
How can you trust the enemy? Never trust thine enemy, man. It tell you in Job 13:4 that he's a forger of lies. The only thing that the greenback, this fiat currency, was pumping it up is trust. And you can't trust America. Everybody find that out now.
Keep inflation under control and remain a stable economic leader. But Trump's policies are undermining that trust. Massive deficit spending is raising fears about the US government's ability to manage its finances. Tariffs and trade wars are making global markets less reliant on the dollar. A politically weakened Federal Reserve is facing pressure to print more money, risking inflation and instability. If major economies begin dumping US treasuries, demand for the dollar will drop. If central banks reduce their dollar reserves, America's ability to finance its deficits will weaken. And if the world finds an alternative, the dollar's reserve currency status could be lost forever. What happens when the dollar collapses? If the dollar loses its global dominance, the US will face an economic disaster unlike anything in its history. Imported goods will skyrocket in price.
Yeah, they showed you in the movie I Am Legend when Will Smith went into that spot. It was money all over the floor, man. If you watch I Am Legend, when he went into that dog spot, he was trying to pull out them zombies. It was money all over the floor, man. And in the movie, what's this? The Road, man. This what they were doing. Hey, it was being burnt, man.
The US relies on cheap foreign imports, but a weaker dollar means everything costs more. Debt payments will spiral. Without global demand for treasuries, the US government will have to pay higher interest rates just to borrow money. Financial markets will panic. The stock market, housing market, and bond market all depend on a stable dollar. If that stability vanishes, so does confidence in the entire system. The point of no return. Losing the dollar's reserve status isn't just a financial crisis. It's the end of an era. For decades, America has been able to print money without immediate consequences because the world needed dollars. If that changes, the US will have no easy way out. The last time a global reserve currency collapsed, it was the British pound after World War II. The British Empire never recovered. If the dollar falls, the same fate awaits the United States.
See, hold on. It said the British Empire never recovered, man. Hey, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
This isn't speculation. It's history repeating itself. Every empire believed it was untouchable until it wasn't. Rome, the British Empire, the Soviet Union, they all collapsed. Not
all Edomite empires, man. Let's not forget.
In a single moment, but through years of economic mismanagement, political instability, and a failure to adapt. America is at that crossroads now. The difference is that this collapse won't happen in centuries. It could happen within a single presidential term. A path of discipline, cooperation, and responsible policy could slow the decline. A path of isolation, debt-fueled spending, and reckless tariffs will accelerate it. The people who will suffer the most? Not the policymakers, not the billionaires. It will be ordinary Americans.
You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. The Lord is talking to you, us. He talking to us, man. You hear what this? This is an Edomite, man. Hold on. This is an Edomite talking here, man.
Decline. A path of isolation, debt-fueled spending, and reckless tariffs will accelerate it. The people who will suffer the most? Not the policymakers, not the billionaires. It will be ordinary Americans, the ones whose savings are wiped out, the ones paying $10 for a loaf of bread, the ones watching their retirements vanish, the ones who never saw it coming. But now, you do.
Hey, legit told Trump right here, you ain't no president. Oh, man. The entertainment. This is Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. And America has built this empire off the blood, sweat, and tears off the backs of so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Free labor, man. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. And the hopeful elect is gathering by laboring, man. Men and the women serving Yahweh by Shema Shah. This is our Psalms 49. He said, man, you ain't no president. Shut up. Psalms 49:6. They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. They going down, they can't be saved, man. This is verse 11. Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Amerigo Vespucci, right? Amerigo, which is fucking bitter. Cristobal Colon. What's this guy name? You got Asiaticus, right? This guy, brother. What's this guy name? What his name is? Africanus. I can't think. Leo Scipio Africanus, and his brother was Asiaticus, right? It reads, nevertheless, man, and this is talking to the Edomites, Psalms 49:12. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not, he is like the beasts that perish. And we watching the so-called white man's kingdom, his last empire perish. This is verse 16, Psalms 49:16. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lived, he blessed his soul, and men will praise thee when thou doest well to thyself. He shall go to the generations of his fathers. They shall never see light. You'll never have power again, right? The Illuminati, they got the light right now, right? Allegedly. Man that is in honor, which is the so-called white man, and understandeth not. Show you something about Esau, Edom. What it said in Daniel 12:10, the wicked would not understand, right? Then I read Obadiah 1:7. It said he don't understand. Man that is in honor, Psalms 49:20. Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish. They just beasts. They don't understand what's going on. They can tell you what's happening. They can tell you, Scott Ritter can tell you what's happening. Glenn Beck and Clayton from Redacted, they can tell you what's going on, but they can't tell you why. The only ones that know why these things is happening, why this last Edomville, this last Edomite empire is crumbling from the inside out, the only ones can tell you why is the prophets of the Lord, man. Everybody else is a fucking beast. Asaph said in Psalm 73, I was as a beast before thee. We all was beasts when we was in the world before the Lord reactivated you to this knowledge. We was beasts, living like fucking animals. Then the Lord gave us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding because it's our wisdom in the sight of the nations. So now we watching beasts eat grass. And this is what the Lord, man, I got to get this. This is why the Lord referenced the Chaldeans, the modern day Chaldeans, as fucking heifers, man. Jeremiah 50. I love reading this precept, man. Because, hey, what up, boy said from King of New York? He said, you got fat while everybody starved. Now it's my turn. Now it's Yahweh's turn, man. The Lord, the king coming home, man. The king coming back, man. This is Jeremiah 50:10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. That's America. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. Why? Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my heritage. Who's the Lord's heritage? The 12 tribes of Israel, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage. The Lord said, you were the one that destroyed the Israelites. Because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass. And all cows do is fucking eat grass all day long. And bellows as bulls. That's all heifers do is eat, man. What the so-called white man been doing? Hold on. James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl. Why, Lord? For your misery that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you. That's how much they got. Why do they got it like that? Why are they doing this? Because they're trying to hide from the Lord. And ye shall in Salakia, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. That's what Revelation 17 come in at. When they say they're gonna make her desolate and naked and eat her flesh and burn her with fire. The other nations. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. And listen, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped and entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Who reaped down the fields? Who? So-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, man. In their cries, hey, that's a Ezekiel 9. They that sigh and cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof, man. Yeah, the whole fleck crying. 2/3 ain't crying about these Edomites, man. These niggas want to hold hand and talk about skip to the loo, my darling. Jake want to hold hand with the so-called white man in seesaw. Ring around the roses and pocket full of poses and all that bullshit, man. This is in this word it say, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, right? When you go to Job, because they mentioned laborers there. And they say all the laborers going to be on these devils, man. And now it applies to all these nations, because these are the ones that make money over here. And these niggas, man, Trump doing a beautiful job, man. What is that? Job 20 and 22, it reads, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When you go to this word wicked, it said the same thing as said in James 5, the laborers that reap down the fields. This is, let's go to this. This is Job 20. Let's go to this. Job 20 and 22. Let's pause there for a second. H, let me turn this up. Here it is.
Strong's H 6001. A male.
It's a laborer, sufferer, wretched one, labor, workman, suffer, toiling, man. That laborer, ooh, this is in the James. That laborer that is a misery had taken labor, wicked workman. Ooh, it got sorrowful. Let's see what this H5998 say. To labor, toil, to labor. Primitive root, to toil, i.e. work severely with a irksomeness. And we had to work severely on the plantation, the sugar canes, the cotton fields. Jake came up with the cotton gin, man. Jake came up with the cotton gin, man. Jake had blood everywhere, man. You devils, man. Hey, and it's beautiful. We are watching the last great empire, man. Let me get this in Job 11 and 20. Boy, this is one of my favorite precepts. It reads, matter of fact, let me start at verse 13. Because this is Lord talking to the whole select. This Job 11 and 13. If thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him, and Solomon prayed that, man. And was that 1 Kings 8, 2 Kings 8, 1 Kings 8, I think it is. But he said, we face the east and pray to Yahweh Shema Shah. If thou prepare thine heart, and the Lord said, in the land of our captivity, we shall think upon ourselves, call upon his name, all that. If thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him, that's why when you pray, you're supposed to lift your hands up to the heavens and not have your hands folded up like that Christianity. Bullshit. You're supposed to be having your hands up like in the Y shape, praying to Yahweh Shema Shah, man. Not all down with your hands tucked. It say, if thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thy hands towards him, if iniquity be in thy hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. For then should thou lift up thy face without spot, yeah, thou shalt be steadfast. That's why they say the righteous is going to put on white to be purified. Lord willing, we are that number. For then should thou lift up thy face without spot, yeah, thou shalt be steadfast and shall not fear, because thou shalt forget thy misery and remember it as waters that pass away. I keep going over this. When you look at waters that pass away, you turn on the sink, you washing dishes, or you at a river and you watching waters go by, or you flush the toilet. That's the Lord say, our iniquity, again reads, because thou shalt forget thy misery and remember it as waters that pass away. And thy age shall be clearer than the noonday. Thou shalt shine forth. Thou shalt be as the morning, young, ready, energized, like King David was, man. And thou shalt be secure, because there is hope. Yeah, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. That's the kingdom. Also, thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yeah, many shall make suit unto thee. Yeah, they got to come to us now. When the king come back, they got to come to us. But the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape. And their hope shall be as a giving up of the ghost. So we got hope, but they don't, man. They're going to try to escape. They think them bunkers is going to be their way to escape. They think them $1 billion sub yachts is their way to escape. They think their fucking Hilton or that Marriott that they got up there at the space station, they're going to be able to hide. No. Their hope is to give up the ghost, man. Because it's going to be horrible in the kingdom for the Edomites, man. It's going to be horrible for the Edomites. Hey, anyway, man, Lord was edified. Got to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikak, Wadash. Dub honors to the apostles and elder bishop and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all the Israel, ready accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth. But the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shed light to the whole elect. I got to close with this. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening learning. You few sisters who are listening learning. The wife tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shak taking bless you in your houses. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Till next time, I say shalom. Wa abad babal. I'm closing with this. Jeremiah 51 in verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. America has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her. They print money. What do they call it? QE, quantitative easing. They take balm for her. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. This means every nation is going to separate from America. Every nation. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reached unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. I got to get a couple more precepts. Salakia. I can't just go like this. I can't do it. Proverbs 11. Every nation is going to separate from Babylon, man. Proverbs 11:19. Why? This is Proverbs 19. Moving too fast. Hold on. Proverbs 11:29. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool, which is the so-called white man, shall be servant to the wise at heart. The Lord just put our servants over us, man. That's all. He put our servants over us, man. Proverbs 11:29. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. What the Lord say send into America? A destroying wind. Was that Jeremiah 51:1? He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart, man. Oh, let's get this. What was it? Proverbs. That Proverbs 30. Let's see here. Yeah, Proverbs 30 and 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. The earth can't bear the so-called white man, man. Everything is crying out. It reads, for 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. See, this is a servant that's reigning. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. And I read that James 5, and the so-called white man is filled with all things. What elite is, because these regular Edomites is through, man. These trailer park trash Edomites is through, man. They done lost generational wealth, and white privilege is gone. Hold on, I got to get this. They say he that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. Well, thank the elites for that, man. That's why the Lord say Amalek was the first of the nations, but their latter end shall be that they shall perish. They are the ones that destroyed you common Edomites. Habakkuk 2. So what they are doing now, going back to the point I was reading in James 5, it said he have heat treasure together for the last days. What is he doing? They need that money for them bunkers, man. This is Habakkuk 2 in verse 9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. That has consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and has sinned against thy soul. So these niggas, the elites, Amalek, they are taking all that generational wealth and white privilege, they taking it back to themselves because they needed to go hide from the Lord. They needed to go hide, man. That was what Amos 9 is about. The Lord saying in Amos 9, see, then they're going to trouble his own house. And it goes all the way back to Esau, despising his birthright. Because when you get the birthright, that means you get the most of what your father got. Like me now, I got 2 other brothers on my dad's side. I'm the oldest. My 2 brothers got the same mama. I come from a different woman. Hey, I'm the oldest though. Whatever Pops got, I get. That's how it's supposed to go. I get first dibs. And damn it, I want it. I want it. Esau said, "Nah, man, you can have that. Let me get that raw meat, man. Forget that our grandfather Abraham left Pops everything he had. I don't want none of that, man. Just give me some of this right here, what you got right here right now. That shit smell good. It ain't done. Let me get them hard-ass beans and that bloody meat. You sold your birthright. So that means you don't care about your people. That's why I say in Ecclesiastes 14, he's a nigga at his table, and he's not satisfied with his own portion. That's why it's with Habakkuk 2, he cannot be satisfied, man. Because he's not satisfied with his own portion. They got everything. They got to set up where they take money out of insurances. They put insurances, $1 million insurances on their family members, the elites, and they keep the wealth in the family, and they're able to borrow money from the insurances to keep that generational wealth. And they still ain't happy, man. They get the jet set and go anywhere they want to, and they can never see nighttime, and they ain't fucking happy. As the head brother Hoy always say, man, you get Jake 50 grand. Jake act like he got $1 billion, man. And he ain't thinking about the Edomites. But the Edomites control all the resources, and all they can think about is those damn meddling kids. We would have got away with it if it weren't for those damn meddling kids, man. Them niggas jet setting, drinking the best wine, fucking 1730 Rothschild wine and shit. And you somewhere eating the raw steak, thinking about how we gonna kill these Israelites. Hey, call out y'all about Shema Shah, man. These Edomites is through. They have consulted shame to their house. And the Lord say, let's read this. Habakkuk 2. Go back here. It's Habakkuk 2 in verse 16. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink and putteth that bottle to him and maketh him drunk also. Oh, I want to do this too. Hold on. Let me get this Roman architecture back up real quick. Bam. Come on. Where is it? Bear with me here, Salakia. I got to put this on the steel. Yeah. Welcome back. The revival Roman Empire. Yes, Habakkuk 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink and putteth that bottle to him and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shame for spewing shall be on thy glory. And what was the Edomites' glory? It was America. America was the elite's glory, man. That made all the earth drunken. How was the earth drunken? Let's read it. This is Colossians 2 and 8. It reads, Beware, lest any man spoil you. The so-called white man spoil everybody. How? Through philosophy and vain deceits, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You had to follow the so-called white man ways, or you got chopped down, man. You see what they did to Gaddafi, man. He had to go. You see what they did to Saddam Hussein. He had to go. You see what they did to Bin Laden. He had to go. Because either you play ball with Babylon the Great or you don't play ball. You can't sit on the bench and be the sixth man. We got to put your ass in the dirt. Yeah. Play right, or we sending in economic hitmen. That's it. Hey, so Lord was edifying. Till next time I say Shalom, Wa, Abba, Babal. Do I have tuning in? Again, may Yahweh Shema Shaka continue to bless you in your houses. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Till next time I say Shalom.